Sadaina. Okay. So this is not any kind of a motivation session. So this is just a strategy session. Especially for those who are preparing for 2024, this year prelims exam. Okay. So we go directly into this topic, the strategy session for prelims. First thing is, now or never. I'm not trying to motivate you guys, but practical reality is that you have almost, if you take away today, you have 94 days. All these days you are preparing for this examination. Some of you might have prepared thoroughly. Some of you might not have prepared so thoroughly, so strategically. But yes, even now if you start your preparation in a proper way, yes, you can crack this prelims. Like I cannot guarantee mains, but yes, prelims is something which we can crack based on a specific strategy or based on a specific methodology. But now you have 94 days. Now, how do we utilize these 94 days to crack this year exam? Now, if you ask me, like after 1 month, you come back to me and say, sir, I want to crack this year prelims. Maybe I cannot help you. Okay. But you have nearly 3 months time. These 3 months, if you can utilize properly without wasting your time, but in a very smart way, yes, this year prelims you can crack. That is a possibility. Got it? Fine. Now, generally people talk about a cutoff as well. But if you see for the past few years, I think most of you might be knowing, if you look at the cutoff, so what I will do is, I will not rub anything. Whatever I write, I'll put it somewhere. I'll try to fill this entire board, right? So that everything would be visible here itself. So when you talk about cutoffs, so last year, in fact, 2023 cutoff, we don't have it right now. Okay, it might be somewhere around 82 to 85. That's what most of the people are talking. But right now we don't have the exact cutoff mark. But when it comes to the previous one, 2022, the cutoff is somewhere around how much? 88.22. And then 2021, the cutoff was 87.54. This is of open cutoff. For OBC or EBC or SC and ST, you will have a different cutoff that you can see it, you can check it online. Okay, but this is the open cutoff. Now coming to 2020, it was a little bit higher because of different reasons. It was 92.51, and if you look at 2019, it is somewhere around 98. I don't want to go beyond this one. Somewhere people say that 2023, it might be somewhere between 82 to 85, but that's okay. We're not much bothered about what exactly is the cutoff. The idea is we cannot just stick on to somewhere around 80 or 85 marks as our cutoff. Somewhere you have to minimum cross this 100 mark. Maybe you should reach up to 110 marks. This should be your target. People say that 140 will go with prelims 140 program. I don't believe in this 140 programs. Okay, what I believe is try to get this 100. If you are at 100, the advantage is that if you are able to get this 100 mark, the advantage obviously is that you are so confident of clearing prelims so that you can immediately start your mains preparation. I'm telling you practically, if you are somewhere around 85, 90 also, some cases 95 also, still you are not sure that you are going to clear prelims this year because you don't know what is the cutoff. The cutoff of that year completely depends on so many other factors, the toughness of the questions and the kind of students that have written. Okay, and there's so many other factors are there. So all these factors taken into consideration, the cutoff might be somewhere else. We don't know. You don't believe me? At one point of time, I think somewhere in 2016 or 15, one of the student, he got almost 114 marks, 114. I think 115, I think. That year, he could not even clear prelims because the cutoff was 116. 115, 114, I think, whatever. Okay. That guy, I will give you that example later on. That guy later on has written this examination again and cleared this prelims exam. I will come back to this guy later on. What kind of a strategy he followed and he could not clear that. Next year, what was the strategy he followed because of which he was able to clear prelims and then again mains. He was a math student. That's the reason why I was telling that. Okay. And then he got into IPS and he is into Telangana cadre right now. Okay. Whatever, but that's a different story. So, if you have to start your preparation, it is now itself, and then you always aim for the cutoff somewhere around 100. If possible, try to put a cutoff somewhere around 110, and it is definitely possible to cross this 110 as well. But again, it's not about so much of knowledge you are trying to gain here. It is all about just crack prelims. That's it. Don't think of anything else. Now, someone who is thinking of, sir, I have still time to prepare for my mains examination. Yes, you do have some time, at least till February end or maybe March first week or second week. You can prepare for mains as well. You can dedicate some portion of your daily routine to your mains preparation, maybe an optional, some topics, or maybe writing practice to some extent. But more or less, I have a plan for you guys, which I thought like I should be sharing this with you guys so that if not exactly this plan, a variant of that plan or a customized plan for your own plan is something which you have to plan for yourself. Okay, that's the idea. Now, fine. Now, what should be the plan? What should be the plan now? Any kind of a competitive examination, if at all you are preparing, this is something which I learned in my graduation itself. You always have to prioritize your areas. Prioritize. What is this prioritize all about? There are two types of prioritizations. One is you have to prioritize what you have to read based on weightages of topic. And you can also prioritize based on your weak and strong areas. There are two ways that you can prioritize. One type of prioritization is based on the weightage. For example, there is a topic which every year, invariably, every year you look at last 10 years, from that topic there is a question. What does it mean? What does it mean? You can always expect a question from that topic this year as well. So prioritize that topic. I will tell you, there are certain topics where you can actually prioritize that. And there is a topic where every year, if you see last 10 years, you don't find even a single topic. Even if you find a single question, randomly, some different years, 1 or 2 questions have come for the last 10 years. Which one you will read? Which one you will prioritize? Obviously, the first one you are going to prioritize, because every year you can see a question, at least one question coming from that area. Now identify all those areas, all those topics. You have to identify. You have to mandatorily get mastery over that topic. I'm not talking entire polity or entire economy. I'm talking about inside polity also. We can categorize the topics. Of which topic has got highest priority as far as our UPSC exam is concerned for the last 10 years. Now I have the entire list of that. I have already collected that list. So this is the kind of a list that we already prepared. And in fact, see, this is some kind of analysis someone has done. I have taken it because it is useful for our guys, right? So I have already listed down certain things, okay? Wherein if you look at last 10 years, how many questions have come from those subtopics, the topics that I'm talking about? How many questions have come? Okay, every year if you see, so if you look at the trend also, we can identify in ancient history what is that which is important, and even medieval history and the modern history, or even art and culture, and then we have polity. So there are certain limited areas that we have wherein you have to mastery those areas at any cost. At any given point of time, any question is asked from those topics, yes, 100% you should be able to answer them. 100% guarantee should be there for those questions. Okay, so that's how we need to have this weightages. The weightages of those topics have to be identified at any cost. Now what happens, I'll give you some topics. For example, if you look at polity, because most of the students are comfortable in polity. If you look at polity, if you see, from 2011 to 2023, every year we had minimum of 2 to 3 questions from Parliament. From the Parliament, if you see Parliament, regarding questions on Parliament, you can see 2022 we have 3 questions, 21 years we had only 1 question, but 2020 we had 5 questions. So every year we had questions. Every year we had questions. So if you don't read polity, you'll be missing 1 or 2 questions guaranteed this time. So read Parliament. Okay. So in polity, if I see, we have a topic called as a Parliament. And it's minimum guaranteed that you will get some questions here. Minimum guaranteed. So if you read the entire, if you want to just complete the syllabus, useless. You just completing the entire syllabus, take 10 days or 15 days and complete the entire syllabus, or read Lakshmikant 10 times. Useless if you're not able to answer this question. But practice this Parliament multiple times. Read this Parliament multiple times. Practice the questions related to Parliament multiple times. That is more important. Okay. And then we have questions from fundamental rights, regularly being asked from fundamental rights. That too for the last 6 to 7 years, if you see, this is the latest one, this is the oldest one. Okay. If you see last few years, every year we had questions, 1 or 2 questions. Now this year also you can expect a question from fundamental rights. Getting my point? Okay. So fundamental rights is important. And then if you look at fundamental duties, you don't see many questions. There are some questions. Even if you skip fundamental duties, okay. But fundamental rights, you have to. DPSPs, yes, somewhere 2 to 2 years, 1 or 2 questions were coming. It's okay. Even if you skip DPSPs also is okay. But fundamental rights is something which you cannot skip. Along with that, there is another topic called as salient features. I think everyone knows the salient features of the Constitution. So if you see here again, consecutive for the last 4 to 5 years, we can see questions from there. This is some kind of a pattern that we can underline when it comes to the way UPSC is asking questions. So identify those patterns, identify those prioritized areas, weighted areas. If you don't identify and just keep on reading the entire syllabus, useless. Useless. You are not trying to crack prelims examination, rather you are just trying to gain knowledge from these topics. That's useless. So always try to prioritize the topics. So salient features. Along with that, if you see last 2 to 3 years, we have questions from Supreme Court. We have questions from constitutional bodies. So out of so many 27 to 30 areas, I'm able to just write down another 2 topics, maybe Supreme Court, and then what is the other one? Constitutional bodies. 5 topics, that's it. Now master these 5 topics first. I'm not saying that don't read rest of the topics. I'm not saying that. You have to read the entire thing, but the minimum guarantee has to be these areas. The minimum, any question that comes from these few subtopics, you should be able to answer them. That is up to sure. Okay. Of course, apart from that, you prioritize. This is topmost priority, next priority, next priority, next priority. You will be listing. Some of them, if you want to leave, you leave them. No, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. If assuming that all those areas together, you get 1 question. It's okay. Leave that question. Don't worry. Leave that question. Nothing wrong with that. Getting my point? So this is something exercise which you have to do for every topic. I will give you this sheet. Don't worry. Okay. Some basic minimum level of exercise I have done, but you have to do based on your weak and strong areas. You have to work it out. Getting that? So how do I identify these weak and strong areas again? Do you understand this weightage topic? Every subject you have to do: polity, economy, geography, history, environment, current affairs, science and technology, in history also, ancient, medieval, modern history. Modern history last year is so pathetic that I think we got 2 or 3 questions. Okay, it's very pathetic. Okay, and then art and culture. Getting that? 4 areas that we have just in history. Right? So if you look at even ancient and art and culture also, every time it is on Buddhism and Jainism only. Buddhism, Jainism, I think you would have already identified that one. So every time in art and culture or even in ancient history, the question, minimum guarantee is that Buddhism, Jainism, you be perfect in those Buddhism, Jainism, you'll get 1 question or 2 questions. Guaranteed. Okay? Identify those topics. Got it? Okay. Now, next comes this weak areas and strong areas. This is something I will discuss it later again. Okay, weak areas and strong areas, I will discuss it later. Okay, in our discussion. So generally, how do you know your weak areas and strong areas? Unless you actually take a test, you will not come to know. I'm not talking like polity I am weak, economy I am strong. I'm not saying that. In polity, what are all those subtopics where you are strong at, the subtopics where you are weak at? There is a possibility that wherever you are weak, there might be questions there. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. So identify those areas also. We'll do that later on. Okay. We'll discuss that later. Now, the second thing that you have to plan is always phase-wise preparation. Phase-wise preparation. Just give me a minute. Blue or black? Pakka? ఏదైనా ఓకేనా? అన్ని కరెక్ట్గా ఉన్నాయా? Stamp ఉందా? Stamp. చూసుకో సరే మిస్ అయింది. Okay, fine. The next one is phase-wise preparation. So people have different opinions on this one, but what I believe is there should be minimum 3 phases. 3 phases means it almost amounts to minimum 3 revisions. Every phase is 1 revision. So how do we divide this one? We have 94 days here. So my suggestion is somewhere you take the first phase as somewhere around 60 days. Now I am talking about from today, or maybe leave today from tomorrow, suppose, because today is anyway gone. Okay, from tomorrow you have 94 days. Someone who want to prepare from tomorrow. Okay, now you should be taking at least 60 days to complete your entire syllabus of 1 round of preparation. So already 1 round of preparation is already done by way of your classes. Most of the things are done at least. Okay. Now this is your first revision. In the first revision, 60 days is a big number, 2 months. 60 days is big number, 2 months. Okay. And then the second phase, we can plan it for exactly 24 days. And the third phase, we can plan it for 10 days. And this is the last revision that you are going to do. And if all your notes are intact, you have already created so many notes for yourself for each and every topic, then you can have multiple revisions in these 10 days as well. Even in 24 days also, you can have 2 revisions. Here you can have 3 revisions, provided you already have all those summary notes available with you. Because in the beginning, if you remember, I don't know, I was discussing with you guys or not, you should always prepare something called as your own notes. Everyone should have your own notes. And that notes also, you have to start consolidating that notes over a period of time. For example, fundamental rights are taught in the class. Okay? In the class, whatever you read, you have your own notes. Along with that, maybe on fundamental rights, you would have read Lakshmikant. So 1 or 2 additional points you got, you add that to your notes. From the current affairs, you got some more additional points, add that to your notes. This entire thing again have to be consolidated and put it in a summary notes. If all those notes are already prepared, then here itself you can have multiple revisions, but not prepared, suppose. But not prepared. Okay? Till now, I did not create any summary notes for myself. Now we don't have time to create summary notes. Okay? This is not the time to create summary notes. Just hold on with that. What you can do is, you start revising things, but you start underlining and keeping note there and then itself. Underlining, keeping note. Underlining, keeping note there and then itself. Okay? But not in the short forms. Short summary notes, no, I don't think so you'll be able to do it now. You don't have enough time for that. So whatever you can do, in the textbook also, or in the class notes, or in any other study material, or any other material that you have, then start underlining things, and those only underlining things are the ones which you are going to revise later on in this 24 days or later on in this 10 days. Only those underlined ones. Not the entire textbook or not entire material or not entire notes. Only those things which are underlined, just going to read them in this 24 days, or we are going to read only those underlined ones in this 10 days. Nothing beyond that. Got it? So multiple revisions or 3 revisions or 4 revisions or 5 revisions or 10 revisions is something, it all depends upon how much of short notes material or summary notes that you prepared. So now, as of now, I believe that, assuming that you have not yet started your revision, suppose, now this is what you have to do. At least now you realize that, now I have to be very serious in my preparation. Therefore, first let me spend my phase 1 of preparation for next 60 days of my first revision. And in this first revision, I am telling you, whatever material that you want to read, read it. Whatever source material, you read it. Magazines, you read it. Class notes, you read it. Study materials, read it. Textbooks, you read it if at all. But don't keep so many sources. Okay, narrow down your sources. Okay, 1 or 2 sources, not beyond that, but start underlining them. Because you cannot write notes now. Okay, that underlining, only those underlining ones you are going to read in this 24 days. And again in this 10 days. Okay, possibility is that maybe you can cut short this 24 days into only 15 days or 16 days, suppose, so that you can have additional days available here in phase 3 for more number of revisions, short revisions. Okay, I think you got this point. And this is something 60, 24, 10 is just my, I think like generally when I see the last few years of students, this is how generally we frame for them. This is something which you can always change according to your convenience. Okay, there's nothing, no hard and fast rule that it should be only 60, 24 and 10. It can be something different, like maybe you can make it as 50 here, but here you take more number of revisions, here you take more number of revisions, 3 revisions. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. But I'm giving you a tentative idea of how to divide this entire time frame into phases and how many revisions that you have to make. Okay, fine. That is about phases. And one more thing generally students ask me is regarding the daily routine. How to plan my daily routine. Okay. Whatever you have done till now, least bothered. Forget about it. Or that is something which you feel like, yes, I have done very good, continue that. I'm not talking about that. What at least you have to do from now onwards. Okay. Now, this is something which you have to ensure that you do justice to almost every area that you are going to read. Okay. Now, one thing. Now you have to at least read 9 to 10 hours. Now, the idea is, though I would have mentioned at some point of time that 5 to 6 hours of preparation on daily basis is sufficient. Throughout the year when you are reading, it is sufficient. But as the exam approaches, you have to intensify your preparation. You have to spend more time on your preparation. Therefore, this is something which I always prescribe at this point of time. At this point of time. Next, at least for this 60 days, this 9 to 10 hours is something which you have to spend. After that, here, there might be some kind of increment of number of hours or decrement based on your solid preparation in this 60 days. Okay? Ee time lo meeru 60 days saringa prepare kaaleda, forget about these two. Avasram ledhu inka. There is no point in preparing these two phases, because the most crucial element of this entire 3 months of preparation is this one only. Of course, this is the longest one. To be frank with you guys, this is the most comfortable one. And again, to be frank with you guys, this is the most crucial one also. It's comfortable one as well as crucial one also. Now, this is a phase where you have to be very serious. If you're not serious in these 60 days, forget about this year, we can plan for 2025 exam. That is up to sure. But the 60 days is important, believe me. If you are not serious in the 60 days, even after, I told you, right, even after 1 month after you come to me and ask me, sir, I want to come clear this prelims, I have a strategy for that also, but there's no guarantee there. But here is the place where, yes, you have the time frame, 94 days, 3 months. Perfectly, if you execute the plan properly, you can crack this prelims exam. Okay? The minimum things you are supposed to do, you have to do. There is no excuse there. The minimum things that you have to do at any cost. There is no excuse at all. Okay? But don't stop at this minimum things. You have to complete the syllabus. Try to complete the syllabus, ensuring that these minimum things are completed. Okay? Now, daily routine, how you have to plan. So look at this plan. Again, this plan is my plan. Generally, I tell students, but this is subjected to your customization and your changes, whatever you can do on this one. Okay. So I divide this into 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2. And 9 hours. 10th hour is also there. That depends on you guys. The 10th hour, again, I divided into 2 parts, half hour and half an hour. I'll come back to that. Okay. This 5 hours is something which is your core subject preparation. For example, next Sunday you have polity exam. Okay. Now read polity. Daily 5 hours. Read polity daily, because you have to complete the syllabus also, right? Don't always think like you have to complete 100% of the syllabus. Don't stick on to the phenomena of completing the syllabus. No. Don't ever do such a mistake of completing the syllabus. Okay? Mastering whatever you read and mastering those areas which are important for our exam, mastering those priority areas, that is important, rather than completing the syllabus. Okay? So, our idea here is that you first master whatever the priority areas that you already identified. Okay? Then along with that, next priority, try to complete it. But if you are able to complete the syllabus of entire polity by Saturday or Saturday night, exceptional. If you are not able to complete also, leave some of them, it's okay. We'll see it later. We'll see it, we have still time here. But you should know that the areas or the topics that you already left are not so important areas. Are you getting that? Not so important areas for this exam. Then yes, whatever you are in the safe side. Okay. Now coming to this one, 5 hours of daily preparation, because this is so important that you have to stick on to some kind of a schedule like this in the 60 days, which is very, very crucial. You definitely this 60 and this 10 are the most crucial here. Okay, and that 60 days, you have to ensure that you have to complete the syllabus. Okay, fine. Now, 5 hours of core preparation, and then 1 hour is mandatory for you to refer to previous year questions on the topic that you are reading for 5 hours. On the topic that you are reading for the 5 hours. Again, suppose let us come back to fundamental rights. So you read fundamental rights for 5 hours. So now look at all the previous year question papers. How many questions were asked on fundamental rights? Now take a test for yourself on all those questions of fundamental rights which are given previously. Administer a test for you. Suppose there are 50 questions altogether on fundamental rights. I can give you that number also. So on fundamental rights, there were altogether 13 questions, 13 questions. That's it. Okay, if you look at last 10 years, there are only 13 questions, 13 questions. Now all these 13 questions, take 13 minutes and practice them, try to answer them, analyze your answers. Remember, as soon as you administer any test, you have to analyze your answers. Okay? Complete the topic. Thoroughly you complete the topic. Along with the fundamental rights, you also read something else, fundamental duties or DPSPs or whatever. Again, test on that. Again, test on that. Okay? And the PYQs you have to administer for yourself. You have to administer for yourself. Take a test on those questions. After that, you start analyzing. And you have to 100% ensure that all previous questions, not only answers, but the concepts also you are thorough with. You have to be thorough with all concepts related to previous year questions on any given topic that you are reading. You have to be thorough with them. No doubt in that. No doubt. If you leave those topics, I am telling you, no one can help you. All previous questions are important. Okay? Fine. And then there is one more hour which you can earmark for CSAT. Now, why CSAT is important, everyone knows. Last year we had a little bit difficult paper, but don't worry about the difficulty level of the paper or change in the way questions are being asked. Don't get panic in the examination hall. Being panic in the examination hall doesn't going to solve your problem. For everyone, it's the same situation. No? Then why you should be worried? Let it be any kind of a question that is being asked. Okay? But you have to ensure that even if it is a tough paper or easy paper, identify. Suppose there are 80 questions here, identify all those questions which are simple questions. If you have 40 simple questions, good enough, na? Why you should be going beyond that? Okay? The problem with most of the students is that they realize, suppose they want to do entire arithmetic. Suppose there are 15 questions or 16 questions on arithmetic, suppose. Now what happens? You want to do entire arithmetic, 16 questions you want to do. There might be 5 or 3 or 4 questions which are difficult questions. Now you stick on to that question, you want to complete that question also. Instead of spending 1 hour or 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, you start spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes on single question. Your game is gone. You are out of the race. Don't do that exercise. Don't do that. You try to do whatever simple questions, identifying those simple questions is important. Identify the simple questions in each of the areas, arithmetic or reasoning or English. Those questions you try to solve first. After that, we'll see others later. Okay, that's how it has to be. So for that also, you require a lot of practice. CSAT, my suggestion for you, you might be very good at CSAT. Okay, but still, if not 1 hour, at least half an hour, try to practice from now onwards. If you are okay with CSAT or not so good at CSAT, minimum time that you have to spend on CSAT is, if possible, write a test. Write a test. Maybe 20 questions only, write a test. 20 questions, okay, no problem. 30 questions, no problem. 40 questions, no problem. Okay, all 60 minutes you will spend on writing questions, no problem. But CSAT is mandatory on daily basis. Okay, it might be arithmetic or reasoning or English, whatever you want to practice, you schedule that accordingly. You have 2 months time. Okay. And the next 2 hours is on current affairs. Why current affairs? Because if you see all this polity, economy, geography, history, the weightages that you have, Okay. Most of the questions, if you see, all those questions are somewhere or the other related to current affairs. Polity questions or economic questions or geography questions or international relations or regular current affairs, science and technology. They're all somewhere or other related to current affairs. So if you start working on current affairs from now itself, then you will be covering a lot of areas in the other part of the syllabus. So don't miss that. If suppose, there's one simple thing I want to discuss here in current affairs. For the past so many days, you are reading newspaper daily. Most of you might be reading newspaper daily. And then you also prepared notes out of newspaper. Notes also you prepared. Very good. Okay. Now, you don't require 2 hours of time to revise all those. Is it or not? You don't require 2 hours of time on daily basis from now itself. Right? So, these 2 hours, you can condense it to 1 hour. And another 1 hour, you can utilize for something else. You can save 1 hour time. But suppose, you did not prepare any notes. You are reading newspaper. But you did not prepare any notes. Any notes. No notes is there. So what you have to do now? What you have to do? Or there is someone who did not till now read the newspaper. No efforts made on current affairs. Just attended classes till now. That's it. But you want to clear prelims exam. So what we have to do on current affairs? Daily 2 hours you have to spend on current affairs. Now, you don't need to read any newspaper, because if you start reading newspaper, again it will be 3 to 4 hours. You can't create any notes out of it. Don't do that. Now, you refer to any current affair magazines. Either it can be our analog magazine, Samiksha magazine, or it can be maybe some other magazine like PT 365 or 360, whatever, or some other magazine or whatever. You take one source, any one source, and thoroughly start reading that source daily for 2 hours. You plan it. This today, 2 hours, what I have to read. Tomorrow, 2 hours, what I have to read. Next day, 2 hours, what I have to read. So 2 hours, you start reading current affairs on daily basis. So that you can relate this current affairs to the topics that you are reading here on regular basis. Okay, and then your task becomes very easy. If you don't do this exercise, I'm telling you, it becomes very difficult. Just learning the core concepts is not sufficient. Core concepts along with the current affairs is the only thing which is most important here. Now let us come to this 1 hour, 2 half an hours. Now, any candidate or any student, even including me also, when you start preparing for any kind of an examination, suppose this Sunday polity is complete. Okay, polity is complete. Next is, what is the test? History. Okay. Next history is there. Okay. Now you start preparing for history now from Monday onwards. Right? Now what happens? There might be certain areas or topics in polity which are important, but still you are not comfortable. You know that these are my weak areas in polity. Now, spend some time on those weak areas. Half an hour only. I'm not asking you to complete it. Always look at what is already completed also. What is already completed, there might be, I'm saying, not required that everyone has those weak areas. There might be 1 or 2 such weak areas. You start working on those weak areas. On daily, just half an hour. Okay? And another half an hour you should always spend on thinking. You should always spend on thinking what you have done on today. Have I completed my task today? Or is there any revision of all these time frames that I have to do? Or is there some kind of this 1 hour I did not do CSAT properly? Or maybe current affairs is something, this current affairs I have already done enough work, why I should spend 2 hours of time? Now you realize that, no, current affairs I'm already good at, why I should spend 2 hours of time? Let me make it as 1 hour only, okay, take 1 hour. But unless you think on that, how do you know it? So daily, before going for bed, you just think of what you have done. It might be half an hour or it might be 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But just think of what you have done on daily basis. Review it. If not today's one, previous 1 week, review it. So somewhere or the other, you have to start reviewing what you have done. Very important. Now, most of the students doesn't do this. They go into a framework of 5 hours, tuck, 1 hour, tuck, another 1 hour, tuck, 2 hours. That's it. Go to sleep. Everyone has, even I have done that. Even I never reviewed it. Okay. But the idea is this is very important for this civil service kind of examination. Okay. My game plan generally used to be, this used to be my game plan always. I always relied on this one. My weak and strong areas is something which, when I go for the test, I will come to know anyway. Daily I am going for test, right? I will come to know my weak areas. Anyway, I am working on those weak areas. Okay. So this is something which will come to know anyway. Okay. But the point is, this is something which if you really work out properly on this one, no one can stop you, I'm telling you. But again, these areas, mastery over those areas. It's not just, I know the concept, not sufficient. You should be able to answer a question given in PYQs. Then yes, you are master of that. Got this one? This entire grid, whatever the 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus half is something which you can always change it. But don't drastically change it. There are minimum things. Now, one question that you can ask here. Sir, already you are talking about 9 to 10 hours and daily we are attending classes. What about that? You are attending classes and you want me to attend a complete 9 to 10 hours of studies. How is it possible? No, it's not possible that way. Again, this is something which is mandatory. Other things are optional. This is something which you can wait for some time. Okay? But this is something current affairs, at least some time you spend on current affairs. If not 2 hours on daily basis. Getting my point? But if you don't do this one, the entire efforts of all these things are useless. Daily you have to work on core area. Daily you have to look at previous year question papers. Daily you have to look at CSAT. This is something, time being, you spend only half an hour to 1 hour and then we will postpone this for some time. But rest of the time you come and attend classes. You don't need to do much work. Unless otherwise the topic is there in prelims exam. Getting my point? So don't get panicked that, sir, 10 hours plus another 2.5 or 5 hours. Do you want me to sleep or not? అది కూడా చెప్తాను స్లీప్ గురించి. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ ప్లాన్ రిగార్డింగ్ టెస్ట్. ప్లాన్ రిగార్డింగ్ టెస్ట్. ఏమైంది, నిద్రపోదా? she doesn't sleep na, पता है मुझे. There are so many students who sleep for 3 or 4 hours only. But don't do that mistake. 6 hours is minimum. 6 minimum. 6 hours పడుకోలేదు అంటే తర్వాత ఇంక కొత్త ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయి. నేనైతే 8 hours పడుకుంటా. ఓకేనా? అఫ్ కోర్స్ 1 hour పడుకుంటాం. బట్ టైం ఉన్నప్పుడు 8 hours పడుకోవడానికి ఏమైందంట. ఓకే, అండ్ యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ టు గో బియాండ్ దిస్ ఆల్సో. నాట్ రిక్వైర్డ్. డోంట్ స్ట్రెచ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ బియాండ్ దిస్ వన్. ఇక్కడ సరిపోతుంది. ఇక్కడికి తగ్గుతుంది యాక్చువల్గా. ఇక్కడ మాత్రం నిద్రే రాదు ఈ 10 days. ఆ నిద్ర పట్టదు, అసలు పడుకుందామని పట్టదు అప్పుడు. ఇట్స్ ఓకే. నిద్రలో కూడా ఆలోచిస్తూనే ఉంటాం మనం. ఇట్స్ గుడ్ దట్ యు ఆర్ థింకింగ్ ఈవెన్ ఇన్ యువర్ సబ్ కాన్షియస్. ఓకే, ఎనీవే, టెస్ట్. నౌ there are certain minimum things that you have to do when it comes to test from now itself. Okay, now when it comes to tests, every week, remember, every week from now onwards. Now, irrespective of whether you are writing our analog tests or not, I am not much bothered about whether you are writing our tests or not. Our test would be there as a repository. We can see it later. Along with our test, you can also catch hold of some other tests. Maybe insights tests. All are available free of cost. Okay, and then maybe IAS Baba test or Vajiram test or next IAS test or IAS forum test, whatever. But along with our analog test series, you also catch hold of 2 more test series. Question papers are required only for our practice. Okay, anyway, keeping that aside. Every week, one GS test plus one CSAT test, one GS test, one CSAT test from now onwards for all those 94 days. Every week, I'm talking about weekly basis, not daily basis. Daily I have already covered here. Okay, daily is already covered. Okay, weekly basis, one GS, 2 hours, 100 questions test. It has to be full length test. Full length doesn't mean full syllabus. I'm not talking about full syllabus. That week, whatever you completed here, it's there, right? Whatever you completed here, on that one, there should be a 2 hours test. So whatever I read, how do you get a test paper? That's what I'm saying, right? Collect all the question papers. No? So many people are preparing so many question papers. Collect all those question papers. Okay? Collect all those question papers. They are free of cost available. Or else go to a Xerox shop, you'll give it just a Xerox copy of that. Okay? Just pay a minimal amount and get those question papers. Okay? It can be this year papers or last year papers. It doesn't matter. But I prefer this year itself, we have so many question papers available. What's the point in taking last year papers? Okay, this year itself, so many question papers are available. Catch hold of those question papers and don't take so many question papers. No, analog plus 2. What is the 2? You choose. I'm not prescribing any question papers there. Okay, 2 hours full length test on the topics that you are reading. Okay, plus CSAT another 2 hours. But 80 questions, right? You know that. It all depends upon whether this should be full syllabus test or whatever you are reading here. That's all up to you. Okay, because that's all up to your command over CSAT. That varies with individual. Got it? So this is completely a different phenomena, but this is something which you have to do. Everyone has to do on regular basis. Got it? So these are tests, minimum weekly one test. In fact, that was the reason why we started this test series with weekly one test. Weekly one test is meant for this. But for this, actually for our test series, you should have actually started your preparation way back. Then that would be optimal. But today when you are starting, our test series, I don't think so is ideal one. Because the kind of schedule that I'm talking here, it doesn't match to our schedule. Okay? So our test series schedule and this schedule is different one. These two are different things. But okay, fine. Our test question papers are available now. We'll keep those question papers. When I complete the syllabus, then I'll administer this analog test. Meanwhile, you get some catch hold of some other test series one. Got it? Fine. This is regarding the tests. Okay. Now, a general tendency of any student or any institute is when we frame a test series, like our test series also, when we frame a test series, the idea is that weekly test, suppose Sunday is the test. Suppose Sunday you are attending the test, attending any of the classes, don't worry, Monday we can have the test. Okay, don't worry about the classes and the test, they are clashing with each other, don't worry, we can have our own test, right? So we can have it on Monday. Now the point is, when people administer a test, the idea would be that for 6 days, people will prepare on the topic. For example, polity. Monday to Saturday, you complete entire polity. Sunday, you write the test. That's what generally people does. Now, I have a new plan. A different plan altogether. Okay? The new plan is, regarding the test, the new plan is, first write the test. For example, polity. Next Sunday you have polity. Now leave that polity. Other Sunday, next Sunday coming after coming Sunday is history. So what is Monday? Monday is what? Date? 25th? 26th. Okay. 26th is Monday. When is the next test? 3rd. 3rd of March, right? This is Sunday. Okay. 3rd of March. Now, my suggestion is, this is just my idea. Okay, you can implement or you don't need to implement. You take a test 1 on history. First, take the test on Monday itself. Where do you get question paper? I told you. So many question papers are available. I'm least bothered about how you get those question papers. It's up to you. You have to get them. Okay? First, administer a test for yourself. Okay? Now, what happens here in this test? You will be able to identify in this test, because the subject of history, you learn the subject of history maybe few months back. Right? Few months back you learn history, or some part of history you know, some part of history you don't know. It's okay. Now you administer a test for yourself and see what are all those weak areas, what are all those strong areas in history. If it is a strong area, it means that even today, without any revision, you are able to answer that question. You know, what does it mean? You can answer that question any given point of time later on also. So it's already your strong area. It's already your strong area. You don't need to put much effort on strong areas. But what is important is identifying those weak areas is very important. Identifying those weak areas is very important. Now put your effort on those, weak areas. That's what. This is what exactly. You should know what are all those weak areas and strong areas for you. Now identify all those weak areas here and put your effort on all these weak areas, provided these weak areas fall on this one. If those weak areas has a very high weightage in our examination, that you cannot forego those weak areas. First focus on those weak areas. Focus on the weak areas and identify and focus on weak areas, and then get command over all those weak areas. It might take, out of 6 days, it might take 4 days, suppose. Still you have 2 more days to put your effort on strong areas. Out of 6 days, you put your effort on weak areas for 4 days, and still you have 2 days time to revise the entire strong areas. Because strong areas also you have to revise, or else tomorrow it will become weak area. Because when you forget, it becomes weak area. Is it or not? So don't forget anything. Since you are already recollecting a lot of information today, it's your strong area today. Don't let it become a weak area later on. For that, you have to revise now the strong areas as well, so that it again remains a strong area. But focus on those weak areas which are prioritized areas. And then this 6 days, whatever you can do, you do that. Don't think like have to complete the entire syllabus. No. Not required to complete the entire syllabus. Whatever you are able to complete, you complete that. Then on Sunday, you write test 2 on history. The additional thing that you are doing is spending 2 hours of additional time in writing this test 1. After that, you spend another half an hour to 1 hour in analyzing what is your weak area. This is individual specific. It's not common to everyone. This is completely a personalized one, individual specific one. So you identify your weak areas, you identify your strong areas, and focus on those weak areas which has got high priority in our exam. Complete it and then go for strong areas in the same week. Complete everything and then write this test 2. That is important. Now what happens? Your very weak areas you have become stronger, and strong areas anyway you retain them as strong areas. So now if you write this examination, this would be the ultimate one. Ante ee idea meeku nachchochu nachakapovachu, but this is very effective one. Super idi. I don't know whether meeku ardhamaindo ledo. Okay, fine. That's the one. So first go with test 1, then identify weak and strong areas, and then go with test 2 on Sunday. Okay? See, test 1 can be our test, test 2 can be some other test, or test 1 can be others test, test 2 can be our test. See, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. It's you who has to decide which one you want to write for test 1, which one you want to write test 2. Clear? Okay, fine. Now let us go with my one additional plan here. Any questions till now? Understood? Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? అంటే మీకు ఎట్లా ప్లాన్ చేసుకోవాలో తెలుస్తుందా కనీసం? అది మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. స్ట్రాటజీ సెషన్ అంటే అదే. స్ట్రాటజీ సెషన్లో సబ్జెక్ట్లు ఏం చెప్పరు ఇక్కడ. కొంతమంది మోటివేషన్ ఇస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ గుడ్ ఎట్ మోటివేటింగ్ పీపుల్. Okay, I'm good at these kind of strategies. Okay, fine. The next one is mentorship program. Now, what I can do from my side in this 94 days? What would be my contribution? Okay. We used to have one program called as Abhyasa Plus program. I don't know how many of you know about this one. Heard about this? A Plus, Abhyasa Plus. It was a very good program before Corona. Okay. Now what I have done for this is, the idea of Abhyasa Plus was twofold. One is, you already know Abhyasa. So all our students, every day they were writing exams weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, blah, blah, blah. Everyone knows. No, you are not writing. No quarterly, why? Quarterly petle? నన్ను కదా అడగాల్సిందే. వాళ్ళు పెట్టినప్పుడు నన్ను కదా అడగాల. ఇప్పుడే చెప్తే ఇట్లా కోర్స్ అయిపోతున్న టైంలో వచ్చి సార్ మాకు అది మీరు చెప్పారు ఇవ్వలేదేంటి అని. నాకంటే తెలుస్తుంది. ఇక నేను డైలీ మానిటర్ చేస్తానా, ఇది టెస్ట్ పెట్టారా పెట్టలేదా, క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమి ఇచ్చారు, ఏది రైట్ ఏది రాంగ్. ఏంటమ్మా డిఓపి ఏంటి? డిఓపియా అంటే డిటిపియా? No. Quarterly it has to be conducted. అట్లా ఇది మరీ అన్యాయం అసలు. నాకు తెలియకుండా ఎట్లా జరిగిపోతే ఎట్లా? సరే నేను చూస్తానులే దాని గురించి. ఓకే, కొన్ని చెప్పాలి నాకు. మనం అప్పుడప్పుడు కలుస్తూ ఉంటాం కదా. అయితే మానేసారా? వెరీ గుడ్. ఇది కూడా మానేస్తారా ఏంటి? నెక్స్ట్ డే ఇవ్వట్లేదా? నెక్స్ట్ డే ఇవ్వకపోతే ఆ నెక్స్ట్ డే ఇస్తారు. 2-3 రోజులు లేట్ అయినా అవ్వలేదు. ఎన్ని రోజుల నుంచి ఇది? చెప్పాలి కొన్ని. ఇప్పుడు నాకు చెప్తేనే కొన్ని జరుగుతాయి, క్లాస్ జరగవు. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు తోసేస్తూ ఉంటారు కొన్ని. నా దగ్గరకు వస్తే తప్ప అది బయటికి రావు. ఎనీవే విల్ డిస్కస్ దట్ లేటర్. ఓకే. So Abhyasa Plus is all about, suppose you completed coaching classes and you are preparing for the examination. You don't have anyone who is monitoring you. You don't have anyone who can mentor you also, because coaching classes are completed. And tests, no one is going to conduct tests unless you join for any of the test series sorts. So we thought like we want to ensure that all our students who go out of analog, they should be in touch with us. They should start their preparation again, or they should continue their preparation till the time they crack the examination. So we'll be in touch with them, we'll be mentoring them. We have separate mentors who actually does that exercise. So we have taken a premises which is a library cum study hall, plus I have taken 4 mentors recruited only for the purpose of Abhyasa Plus. And here we'll be taking only 40 students. We have a separate premises, not here, some other place. We have a separate premises where 24/7 the premises is available for study. It's completely monitored. 4 mentors. Each mentor will take care of 10 students. Okay. And everything about the student, mentor is responsible for that. Weekly, we used to conduct 3 tests. Sunday, they are going to write a consolidated test. So every Sunday, anyway, we have our test series test. That is divided into 3 parts. Each part will conduct a test. Next part, another test. Next part, another test. All the 3 parts together, Sunday test. Okay. And every time when we conduct a test, their mentors will evaluate the answer script in front of the students itself. It would be objective. In the case of objective, there and then itself. In the case of descriptive, mentor will come, call the guy and then evaluate on the same day. And then feedback would be given there and then itself, and he'll be asked to write it again and then again evaluation. So mentor's work is to take care of those 10 students on daily basis. Okay? Because of Corona, since we cannot maintain the premises, so we close that program. Okay? Now, instead of starting a program like this, the plan is we'll relaunch this one in a separate way, in a refined way. Refined in a simple way. Not of that sort, because that is very, very highly costly program. It's very, very costly program. Okay. So every month I used to shell down 2 to 3 lakhs on just this program. Okay. But today I'm not going for this one, but I'm going to revise this program in a simple way. This program is all about, we have our students studying in the library. We have some of the students going home and studying there. Okay. We have some students, they are already into some study halls. Okay. And we'll take some more additional students, our own students who want to join this one. That there is one study hall already available in Gandhinagar premises. Okay. We have 4 rooms there. So my plan is to take 2 rooms out of it. In that 2 rooms, we will have our students sitting over there, studying on daily basis. Whatever is this entire scheme of 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus, this thing is something which you have to do for yourself. Okay, we cannot think from your side. Okay, and weak areas you have to identify and work on yourself. Okay, all these things we will monitor and we will do from our side. So 5 hours you have to come and read there. 1 hour PYQs, so we will give you PYQs because I already got the list of all those PYQs. For example, fundamental rights, I was talking about 13. Okay, so for every topic we have those questions available with us, and then 1 hour of CSAT will go with some questions on some topic. We'll devise that one as well. So every day in this, what you have to read, which book you have to refer, and after completing this, what you have to refer to in the previous question papers and what tests that you have to do in the CSAT, we will work out. So it is completely, and we are going to have 2 mentors who will be available 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. Okay, that is something which I am planning. Maybe I'll be launching this in another 2 or 3 days to come. Those who are interested can directly contact front office. ఇంకా తెలియదు దీని గురించి, ఇందాక కాన్సెప్ట్లైజ్ చేశాను ఇది నేను. సో వాట్ వీ కెన్ డూ, బికాజ్ ఎన్ని చెప్తున్నారు బాగానే ఉంది, మేము చేసుకోవడం కష్టంగా ఉంది అంటే నేను చేసి పెట్టాలి. సో దట్ గోస్ అకార్డింగ్ టు దిస్ ప్లాన్. దిస్ ప్లస్ దిస్ ఈజ్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు గివ్ ఇట్ టు యూ గైస్, because see, that's not my work. I have not done anything there. Okay, I've just identified the patterns, but this entire giving what are all those subtopic wise segregation or classification is already done by someone else. I will take that one itself. Okay, from there we'll identify what are all those areas which you have to be good at any cost, and based on that you identify your weak and strong areas based on the test that I said just here, this one. From here you identify the weak and strong areas. This comes to here. That's how it goes. Okay, this is something which I'm planning. Within a day or 2 I'm going to work on this one, how we have to exactly do this one. This is just in concept. Okay, just concept wise, and then I had discussion with 1 or 2 guys. Maybe I need to discuss with more guys, and whether or what are the formalities of this one is something which are going to work it out. Okay, fine. Anyway, that's what it is. But again, my last word for you guys is, if you have to do it, you have to do it now itself. Time has come. All these days, whatever you have done, I didn't bother, because of the reason that you have enough time. Okay, you are learning, you are attending the classes, you started learning things. Those who are writing the examination writing, some of you, because they are not getting evaluated or not given, you are not writing, whatever. whatever the reasons, all these reasons, all keep it aside. This baggage, keep it aside. But start afresh now. Start new. This is something which if you don't realize now, forget about this year. Let us think about 2025. 2025 is a different ball game altogether. But again in 2025, in the month of March or April, you come back to me, sir, I thought of preparing for the last 1 year. I could not do that. Plus, can you tell me any shortcut way? Shortcut anangane guttachenu. No shortcuts here. You have to do your work. No one can help you except for these kind of things, but it is you who has to do your work. Okay? My best thing would be I can suggest you to do what to do, what not to do, how to do that. But it is you who has to do that. There is no shortcut here. But having mentioned the term shortcut, I will give you one more caution for you guys. Now, since the application form you are about to upload, or some of you would have already uploaded, but whatever, maybe started uploading things. Now, the point is, after 1 week or 10 days, you start receiving so many videos in YouTube. How to crack 2024 prelims examination without actually reading the question also. You will get so many videos. Okay? They're all shortcuts. I'm telling you, don't believe in these kind of shortcuts. Don't even listen to those shortcut videos. You'll be too much motivated, but again, that's what is called deviation. That's what is called deviation again. Deviations, please avoid those deviations. People talk, I'm telling you, this time you'll get hundreds and hundreds of videos. Last year itself, we got so many videos. I got bored of telling students that, don't believe in that. UPSC is not so stupid, man. UPSC is very smart. I'm telling you, one step ahead of all of us. Every year it will be one step ahead of all of us. Maybe for one or two students, the tricks and tips and tricks people talk about, right, would have clicked. Just happened that year, will not happen definitely next year. So don't believe in those shortcuts. Don't get yourself deviated from your actual preparation. These are certain things which are patterns. These are not shortcuts. Again, they are not shortcuts. These are certain patterns in the way UPSC is asking questions. This is how you have to smart in actually what to prepare, what not to prepare. And don't ever think like 100% of the syllabus you have to prepare. No, not required. You prepare 80% of the syllabus, but still attempt most of the questions. Possible. Perfectly attend most of the questions. Possible. This is possible not just in prelims, mains, even in optional as well. Always possible. Okay? And last but not the least, generally neglected area. Okay? Sleep. Minimum 6 to 7 hours, depending upon your case. Sleeping for 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't think so is suggestible. Okay? Your brain requires sleep. Your brain requires rest. Your body requires rest. Okay? So please ensure that you give that enough rest for your body, your brain. Okay? Don't neglect that. Number 2, food. Somewhere or the other, you try to ensure that you always take not heavy food, decent amount of food. Okay? Not heavy, decent amount of food, but healthy ones. Always healthy food. I do know that since you are staying away from your home, you cannot expect very healthy food. To the extent possible, try to maintain healthy food. Don't eat junk food kind of a thing. What is junk food? You better know. Okay? Once in a while is okay, but avoid certain things. Number 3, this is going to be a summer. It's going to be very hot. I'm telling you, it's going to be very hot. Okay. While reading or while staying at home or while sleeping, ensure that you create conditions where you get proper sleep. Don't go out very frequently. Drink enough water, Glucon D or whatever, ORS or whatever, coconut water, juices. Take as many liquids as possible. Minimize your solid content and maximize your liquid content. Okay, that's more important for the next few months to come. After prelims examination, you do whatever. You go to hell, doesn't matter. Okay, but do some good thing in these 3 months. Okay. Mental health, yeah, it's also very important. And I'll give some example. One of my friends, of course, he is now an IAS officer in Andhra Pradesh. My roommate, so we were roommates in Delhi. So we came back to Hyderabad for our preparation. So he stayed here. I want to stay in independent room. So go ahead and stay in independent room. So he was there in Gandhinagar. Just 1 week before the examination, I am talking about mains exam, not prelims. Mains, 1 week before the examination. See, that was a rainy season. After that, we have winter season just about to start. I'm talking in terms of October and November time, at that time. Okay. So Gandhinagar was not like this earlier. Gandhinagar used to be highly unhygienic place. Okay. Just beside his room, there was a dump yard. So many mosquitoes. He got malaria. He was not even able to sit in the examination hall. Whatever he studied for the last 1 year or 2 years was useless, literally zero. He could not even write his answers properly. Mains, obviously, he cannot qualify. Because of, what was the reason? He was not in that hygienic conditions. If you don't maintain that hygienic conditions, I'm telling you, just before the examination, you catch hold of fever or even any kind of small sickness, gone. Your exam would be gone, because that 2 hours of prelims paper 1 and 2 hours of prelims paper 2, that 4 hours, if you have to perform 100%, the best performance possible, then you have to be in 100% highly healthy in terms of physical as well as mental conditions, or else it's not possible to clear this examination so easily. So maintain this one. Mental health, yeah, you should always be positive and always stay with your positive friends always, and then always go with some kind of a meditation or something like that, if at all you practice meditation. But always try to stay calm, don't get aggressive and aggravated, or don't fight with your friends, obviously. చెప్తా ఉంటే చిల్లర అనిపిస్తాయి కానీ, బట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. Okay, the moment you get aggravated, the day is gone. 1 day is gone, entire plan is gone. Okay, so that's how it goes. So be very much cautious for the next 94 days to come. 95th day you are writing the exam. Of course, leaving today, 95th day you are writing the exam. So ensure that every small thing is important. Every small thing. These things are very, very small, but still they are very, very important. That can change your life. You can even say that, sir, in my house, or maybe one of my friends is getting married, or my boyfriend is getting married, or my girlfriend is getting married. So I have to go there. So I don't have any answers for that, any solution for that. Okay, there might be marriages, because this is going to be marriage season again. Summer is going to be marriage season. So many marriages would be there in your house. Okay, plan them properly. Don't spend too much time on other extracurricular activities. Okay, you want to go for a movie, go for a movie. Nothing wrong in going for a movie, but the entire last 1 week or 1 month to come, whatever you are supposed to complete, you complete that and go. Nothing wrong in that. Okay, don't say that Sunday is a holiday. No, Sunday is not a holiday. There is no Sunday now. There is no Sunday. In fact, I forgot about Sundays way back. నాకు సండేస్ కూడా తిరగటం ఈ మధ్య, ఇంట్లో తిరుగుతున్నారు. మరి ఇంట్లో సండే అన్నా స్పెండ్ చేయొచ్చు కదా ఫ్యామిలీతో అని. ఓకే, మీకైతే అసలు సండేనే ఉండకూడదు. నథింగ్ కాల్డ్ as సండే ఫర్ యూ గైస్. ఓకే, that's how it should go now. Next 94 days is crucial, of which this is ultimate, and this 10 days is very crucial, especially for this one and this one. ఎగ్జామ్ రాయాలి కదా, రాయాలంటే ఆ 10 days కొద్దిగా మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి. ఇఫ్ నాట్ ద ఎంటైర్ 60 + 24 84 days. ఓకే, వాట్ ఎల్స్, ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్? ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకేనా, నేను పంపిస్తాను మీకు ఆ షీట్, మీరు అనలైజ్ చేసుకోండి. ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ మీ అనలైజింగ్ ద థింగ్స్, యూ స్టార్ట్ అనలైజింగ్ ఇట్. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ నాట్ మై వన్, ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్, ఐ డి నాట్ ప్రిపేర్ దట్. అంత టైం నాకు లేదు ప్రిపేర్ చేయడానికి. నా ఎగ్జామ్ నేను చేసుకున్నా. మై ఎగ్జామినేషన్, మై టైమ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ డన్ ఆన్ మై ఓన్. ఐ యూస్ టు హ్యావ్ సోచ్. మ్యాథ్స్ చూడలేం కదా, గ్రిడ్లు వేసేస్తాం, ఊరికే గ్రిడ్లు వేస్తూ ఉంటాం. ఏం చేసినా గ్రిడ్ వేస్తా, టేబుల్ వేస్తా. సో ఐ హ్యావ్ డన్ దట్ ఎక్సర్సైజ్ అండ్ ఇట్ వాస్ హైలీ ఎఫెక్టివ్. इतना effective था, it was so effective that, see, for prelims examination especially, then we used to have mathematics optional, as instead of CSAT we used to have optional subject. Now my preparation time was 2 days. 2 days, imagine prelims, my preparation time used to be 2 days. First attempt I prepared for 5 months with all these kind of strategies. Second attempt onwards, it was just 2 days. Imagine 2 days. All my friends used to prepare for 3 months, 4 months, day in and day out. I was leisurely enjoying. 2 days, khatam. After prelims examination, all of them used to feel like, whether I'll be able to clear or not. They used to calculate the scores. Not once, 100 times they calculate scores. Still the score would be same, na? I never ever calculate, because out of 100 I used to get 97. 96, 97 used to be my mark, because I know where to focus, where not to focus. I know definitely. I used to have some 10 pages. If I read 10 pages, I'll get 50 marks. Just 10 pages, imagine. My mathematics optional, out of 10 pages, out of 100 questions, I'll get 50 damn sure. That was the game plan. That's how you have to prepare. Okay. Had there been single optional at that time, in mathematics, I would have scored the top and then I would have become IAS way back. You guys have that opportunity of single option scenario now. But forget about optional, let us come to this one. The same strategy is applicable today also. I'm so lucky to see that, so fortunate to see that kind of a game plan. It's not, people should understand what kind of a game plan we can work it from this one. I'm able to do this. As soon as I have seen this one, I realize, yes, this is what I want. This is what I have done at that point of time. And you also have to do this one now. How many of you have done this already? I don't know. If you have not yet done this one, now focus on this one. Identify the areas. The areas are important. Don't try to complete the entire syllabus. Completing syllabus, every donkey will do that. Is it or not? Every donkey will do the completion of the syllabus. But I don't think so you are donkeys. అంటే మీరు ఎన్లాక్ వచ్చారంటే donkeys కాదని అర్థం. వేస్తారా బాబు? Okay, no, we can kidding. Okay, so idea is identify the cutoff mark has to be 100 to 110. Try to see that, don't stick on to 80 85. Now the question, we should have asked a question, sir, how many questions I have to attempt in prelims? అడగాలి కదా, అన్నీ నేనే ఇవ్వాలా? అడగాలి మీరు questions. Okay, so how many questions I have to attempt in prelims? Now this is something which I should have addressed way back, but anyway. Now 80 to 85 questions is the minimum questions that you have to attempt. Now, this all depends again on one thing. I was talking about one of my student who is an IPS officer who could not clear, and then again he cleared next attempt. 114 or 115 I was talking. That guy actually attempted 63 questions. 62 questions. 62 questions. Okay? That guy is so extraordinary guy, out of which 3 questions were wrong. 3 questions were wrong. Okay. 58. Okay. 3 questions were wrong. Now what happens? 62 minus 3 is 59. Okay. Look at the accuracy level that guy has got. That guy, మా మ్యాథ్స్ పిచ్చోళ్ళు ఇంతే ఉంటారు. వీళ్ళు ఎట్లుంటారంటే నాకు వచ్చిందంటే వచ్చింది, లేదంటే రాదు. బైనరీ సిస్టమ్ 0 or 1. ఓకే, వీ జస్ట్ మా జీవితాల 0, 1 మీద సరిపోతూ ఉంటుంది మా జీవితం. ఓకే, బట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద పాయింట్ ఇస్, this guy is so accurate that out of 62 only 3 questions were wrong. So 62 minus 3 is 59, and you have negative marking of 1/3. Okay, 1/3 of negative marking is -1 is 58 questions. 58 into 2, how much? 116. That year the cutoff was 116 point something. నేను వస్తున్నాను, 1 minute 1 minute టైం అయిపోయింది నాకు. ఓకే, 116 point something. This guy could not clear exam. Tell me what might be the reason? What went wrong here? What went wrong here? This guy is extraordinary, right? This guy is the guy who is supposed to clear this exam, but still he could not clear even prelims. And most of his friends cleared prelims, though they were not so strong like this guy. ఇదే తప్పు. This is wrong. That is wrong. Getting my point? You should always go for some kind of a guesswork. You should always attempt some questions based on your guesswork. Don't ever think like this. See, this guy, he felt like, I already crossed 100 now. Why I should worry about it? 1 point. He already crossed 100. You know that. He definitely is going to cross 100. Okay, at least 110 he is going to get. He is pretty sure about it, but still he could not clear because you cannot rely on this number also, 116 or 100 or 95 or all these numbers. You cannot rely. Don't ever think like, so the cutoff is reducing, or this year it is increased, but it is 80 to 85 only. No, don't ever think like it. This time it might be 80 only. No, don't ever have any kind of idea on that. No, don't even think of it. Always try to cross 100. Or maybe 110 also is a good target to reach as of now, today's pattern. Okay, don't stop at 62. No, what he has done, he came to me the other day after this. He was crying. I told you, what the hell in crying now? You should have asked me all these things before prelims exam. I should have told you, right, what you have to do. And his father was my teacher again. So his son has become my student. Okay. So I told him next year that, see, this is not the way. You should always add some questions here. 10 to 15 questions you have to add where you feel like 50% right and 50% wrong. 50% probability you need to work with. Okay, that 50% probability, if you work it out, suppose 10 questions you attempted, out of which 5 are correct, 5 are wrong. 5 wrong is then 1/3. 1/3 of probability, right? Okay, maybe I'll take 12. Like about easy go to the point lekunda. Okay, 6 wrong. So 1/3 of negative is 2. So 6 minus 2, 4. So 4 into 2 is 8 marks. It would have added to this guy. 6 marks added means here instead of 116 you would have got another 8 marks. Are getting my point? So this is the kind of strategy that you have to work it out. And how many additional questions that I have to attempt this year is something, somewhere you have to reach this level. Okay, how many, see, either you have to go with 80 only or 85, or shall I go with 90 or not, is something which you have to decide in the examination hall. How would you decide in the examination hall directly without having practice of that here today? So that kind of guesswork also you have to practice now. So practice that guesswork today. So how many questions I have to attempt? Whether I should attempt 50-50 questions or because in ABCD Only one of the choice I was able to eliminate, other three I am not able to eliminate anything. Or two choices I was able to eliminate, other two choices I am not able to eliminate. Understand? 25%, 75%, 50%, 50%. Two scenarios. So which one I have to attempt, which one I should not attempt? Practice. Guesswork. Guesswork, you need to practice that one. Okay? Fine then. Thank you so much. I will stop it here. If anything additional things I always think of, I will get back to you guys. But work it out. Okay? Note just Kunara. Exam ki mundu 1 year. May to May. Forget about all these things. Minimum thing, May to May. Or May to April, you consider that way. If you have additional time, go with that one also. See, 2 years back questions were also asked. Doesn't mean that every time we have to go with 2 years questions. Getting my point? There were instances where 2 year back questions were asked. So we cannot do that. So forget that question, na? Why you should one question, एक question के लिए you want to read another 4-5 months or what? That's what. Prioritize. You prioritize the areas. How much time that you have to spend to read that 4 to 5 months of current affairs for the sake of one question? Kada? Weightage prioritize చేసుకోవాలి. Okay. For example, art and culture. How many questions we are getting? 2-3 questions? For which do you need to spend so much of time? I will not spend time. Are you getting my point? I will spend only the amount of time required. For example, in the entire art and culture, every year I am getting Buddhism and Jainism. First, let me read Buddhism, Jainism. It means that my art and culture is complete. Terrible, eh? So, prioritize and optimize there. Okay? Chalo then. Catch you guys. If you have any further questions, I am always available for you guys. That's